G'day world, and welcome back to stuffwedo, where we do all the knife stuff you love. Knife reviews, knife tests, knife modifications, and outdoor stuff with knives. Video number 3. Un, dos, tres. Ich, Nissan. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ti peditaru. Okay, that's all the languages I can think of right now for counting. Up to number 3, video number 3 in my 10-day challenge series. Okay, today we are talking about something, well, it's not an EDC knife, most definitely, and it's definitely a utility knife, but not as in your normal utility knives. Let's start at the beginning. Me and my brother went to well, it's like an abandoned plot of land, and we actually were picking up stumps that people dump there. These tree felling people, they dump their stumps in this open field. And we found this knife. Now it looks like it has an odd shape. And whatever, we picked this thing up there. So if you can see, it's a very old thing. It's an extremely thin blade. It's got a bit of flex to it. And as we were picking up these stumps, we found this thing there on the ground. And I took it with me because I love everything knife shaped. This thing gets crazy sharp. And I used it for every utilitarian purpose you can think of for years. Not knowing what this was initially. Anyway, so then, a few years later, I realized this was a shoe knife, or a cobbler's knife. Okay, so it's actually made to, cobblers used it to cut leather mostly, and also rubber. Okay, wonderful, wonderful utilitarian knife. It looks weird, but I promise you, when you have this in hand, and when you're cutting rubber and things, I suppose when you're putting shoes together, that would be quite useful. But for anything in the world, I use this as a marking knife, and even for a carving knife, it worked wonderfully. Okay, so then I bought myself a new one at a hardware store close to where my parents live. It's a very old-timey hardware store, so they still have weird things. Now, in my homemade toolbox, hold on a second. Okay, and now I'm throwing everything around. In my homemade toolbox, right at the back, we have this thing. I made one of those olden day toolboxes with wood. We can do something like that at another stage. Anyway, I found this thing, or I bought this thing, and now I'm using this a lot. So this guy has been retired, and it's just at my workbench. And then I bought this thing, Troy. I don't know what really brand that is. I know nothing about it. It's not a full tang thing, nothing like that. It's got rivets in it, unspecified wood, unspecified blade material. But the shape of this knife is fantastic for pretty much any utilitarian task you want. And okay, it might sound crazy, but even food prep, because of the angle of the blade, it actually sits flush without your hand hitting it. It's not like a normal sheep's foot or a worn cliff that you cannot use on a surface. This thing works everywhere. So it looks weird, but it is a fantastic knife for anything. Look at the old one and the new one. Okay, so when you think about utility knives, you think about those normal Stanleys, the flicky out ones, or the one with the little utility blade. We're not going to go into that now. We actually have a utility knife in my list of planning for the next videos, whatever. But I wanted to show you this one, a shoe knife, or a cobbler's knife. Really fantastic knife for working. It might not look very refined because it's got a little wavy, bevel to it. Yeah, you see, it's not fantastically flat or anything like that. And like I said, I don't know what steel this is, but this thing works fantastically for almost anything in the world. And the tip looks quite blunt, but it can pierce, it can cut, it can do anything. This one is a bit thicker than the previous one I had, but I think the other one is thin because of age. This one looks more like the way I think it should be. And for cutting leather and plastic and even wood, I even carve with this thing. It works fantastic. You choke up all the way to the blade, and then you can carve with this thing like nobody's business. And because it's such thin stock, it can slice fantastically also. I don't know if you will be able to find this in your part of the world, but actually I don't even know if I will be able to find this again. But where I live now, I know of one olden day hardware store that still carry these. And it costs nothing. It's like 25 Rand, South African. So in dollars, I don't know what that would be. So yes, thank you very much. Video number 3. I'm not running out of ideas yet. I still have like 2 more, and then after that we'll improvise. Thank you for still following along, and good luck with the rest, and stay safe, happy, and have a good one. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. The subscription button will be over here this time. Thank you. Bye-bye.